What is up guys, glad to meet you again. In the previous tutorial we built an awesome React app where we can post articles. If you haven't checked that, I highly recommend you to watch it first. You can find the link in the description. A lot of people ask me to add new features to this app, so I decided to upload part 2. I have added some cool features including authentication, like button and comment section. Okay, now let's have a look at the final output. So you can see we are not logged in, so you can see this box saying login to create article, or if you don't have an account you can sign up, right? I have already created an account using this sign up form, so I'm going to log in. Click this. Now you can see currently logged in user here. Also you can see the form now, and you can like here, and you can delete your article, but you can't delete others. Whenever you click this image, it takes you to another page. So here you can see the comment section, and you can comment, you can delete your own comments. Also you can see the like button here, right? Also you can see a beautiful nav bar, right? Whenever you click this home link, it takes you to this page, right? When I click logout, we cannot like or comment, right? Let's open this. In the comment section, you can't comment because you are not logged in. Okay, now let's get started. And now we are going to create our nav bar. So go to component and let's create nav bar component. So React functional component. I'm going to give bootstrap class name to this div. So class name, it should be on the top and it should be fixed. So fixed top. It should have border, so border, and I'm going to give a color. So I'm going to use inline CSS, so style double curly braces. Inside that I'm going to give background color, so background color, let's say white smoke. It's a kind of a white, right? Okay, inside the div I'm going to have a nav component. So nav, the class name is nav bar. Inside the nav another div. Then I'm going to show an image source. You can use whatever image you want. I'm going to use the default image which is in the public folder here, so I'm going to use that. So logo 192.png. okay, then I'm going to give width, so width let's say 30, then height is also 30, and I'm going to give alt property, let's say logo, right? And also I'm going to use bootstrap class name to give margin. So class name margin start, let's say 5. Okay, now let's check the design. So go to app.js, under this first div, nav bar. As you can see, it is automatically imported on the top. Now let's start our app. npm start. Okay, we have successfully added nav bar. Currently this page is empty, right? We don't have any articles, but you can remember we already added a few articles, right? So what happened to that? So let's go to our Firebase console. Okay, and let's check whether we have the data. So go to Firestore database. Just you can see we have 3 data, but it's not showing. So the reason is the security rule is updated. So you need to go to rules. Now we need to update the security rule. So just delete this. Just allow read and write. Okay, then publish. Okay, now let's check. Let's refresh it. Now you can see all the records, right? Okay, now I'm going to add homepage link on the nav bar. Also I'm going to add the current username and also sign out button. So go to VS Code, go to nav bar, and after this div I'm going to show the homepage link. So for the link I'm going to use a React router DOM. So open new terminal, npm install React router DOM. Okay, so here link which is from React router DOM. My auto import is not working, so I need to import it manually. So then now let's give class name, so nav bar, and let's say 2 it is just slash, right? Whenever you click, it should go to the home page, right? So let's say home and close the link, right? Now you need to import that. Import link from React Router DOM. So now let's go to app.js. So import, one is browser router. Let's rename it. Let's say router. The next thing is routes. Then route from React Router DOM, right? React Router is used to define multiple routes in the application. When a user types a specific URL into the browser, the user will be redirected to that particular route. Okay. Under the container, I'm going to wrap whole the thing within router component. Router. Wrap the whole thing, right? So inside this router, we are going to create our routes. So routes. So inside this route, let's give path. So path is the URL, right? For example, let's say /register, then the element. For now, let's return div. So inside this, I'm going to say h1. Let's say register form. And here let's say this is something. Now let's create the next route. So route path. So I'm going to use this path for my home page. So just slash then element. Let's close this. I'm going to move this inside that element, right? Inside here. So copy this. Just cut this, right? Cut this. I'm going to paste it here. Let's save it. Okay. Now let's go here. So click home. You come to this home page. So now we are going to create a register form as well as the login form. So inside the component, I'm going to create a folder. So auth. Let's create a register form first. So register, right? Register.jsx rfc. Let's give class name to this div and padding 3, and let's give color, so bg light. It's a kind of white, right? So also I'm going to give margin, because you can see we need some space on the top, right? So margin top. So style 70, right? Then let's give a heading. So h1 register, then another div. The class name is form group. So inside the div, we need a label for the name. Then we need input, and the type is text. Then class name, that is form control. Then placeholder, let's say enter your name. Copy it and paste it again, and you need to change it. So let's call it email. So placeholder is enter your email. The type is email. Then we need an input for password. So paste it again. Password. The type is password. So placeholder is password. Then we need a button. So let's give a break. Button. Class name. So btn. It should be blue. So btn primary. Let's say register. Now go to app.js. So here I'm going to import it here. The element is register. Automatically imported. Let's check the design now. So go to register. So here register path, right? Yeah, we have a beautiful form. Now let's build the register functionality. So go to register, and we need to store all the data in state, right? We need to store name, email, and password. So I want to use state. Import it first, right? And then first we are going to use email, right? So const email, set email. The initial state is empty string. Then password. We need password, yeah. And then name, right? So const name, set name, right? Initial state is empty string. We need to set the state while we are typing, right? So in the input on change, so it's a function, it takes events. We need to set the name first. So set name, so e.target.value, right? And we need to do the same for email. So here on change, set email, right? e.target.value. Then again for password on change event, yeah, set password e.target.value. Then our handle sign up function on the button on click. Let's call the function handle sign up, and let's create it. Just copy this, right? And let's create the function. So here const the name and arrow function. So here I'm going to use a function called create user with email and password, which is from Firebase Auth. So here create user with email and password. So here we need to import from Firebase/auth. So here create user with email and password. Okay. So here then we need to pass 3 parameters. First one is auth, which is from our Firebase configuration. So we need to import that. So import from, it's from our Firebase config, right? Right. So auth. Then the second parameter is email. The third parameter is password. So email, password, right? There's an error. Let's have a look. Auth is not found. Let's check. Actually, we didn't create our auth yet. So now go to our config file, and now we need to create our auth. So here export const auth, which is equal to get auth, which is from Firebase Auth. You can see it is automatically imported, and you need to pass the app. So app, save it. This function gives us promise, so I'm going to change it to async, right? So you need to use await here, right? After creating user with email and password, I'm going to update the profile name. So update profile, which is from Firebase Auth, right? Then auth, the current user. Then I'm going to update the display name. So the display name is name, right? Which is this name, right? Then we need to navigate it to the home page, right? So I'm going to use navigate, which is from React Router DOM. So here import use navigate, right, which is from React Router. So after that, create a variable, let's call it navigate, then use navigate and invoke that method. Then navigate, so the URL is just slash, right? If anything goes wrong, we should show the error message. So I'm going to use try catch statement. I'm going to move this code inside try, right? If anything goes wrong, I'm going to display a message. So I'm going to use toast. So toast error dot code. Then it's an error message. So type should be error. So type it's error. Okay, now let's sign up. So here name is Warren So, email address warrenso@codewithwarren.com. Give a password, then register. It says auth configuration not found. So we need to enable authentication in our Firebase console. So go to Firebase console and open up authentication. So get started. You need to enable this email and password, right? Click that. Just enable, then save it, right? Now let's try register. Yeah, it takes us to the home page. So login is success. So after this, I'm going to show the logged in user here, right? So go to VS Code and go to navbar, right? Then I'm going to display the user details, user's display name or else user's email, right? So here I'm going to say I'm going to get the current user. So for that I'm going to use a library called React Firebase Hook, right? So open up a new terminal, npm I react Firebase hooks, right? Just press enter. Okay, now import use auth state from React Firebase hooks /auth, right? Then const user, which is equal to use auth state, and we need to pass the auth, right? We need to import that, which is from our configuration. So you can see it is imported, right? And if we have user, so user, we need to return the currently logged in user's information, right? So here empty tag, here I'm going to return span. So class name, I'm going to give some space, right? So padding int, let's say 4, then let's say signed in as I'm going to display the display name or email address. So here user dot display name or user email. Let's check the design. Yes, you can see this is a display name. So it says designed as Warren Zhou. And here I made a mistake for that. This nav, the class name is not nav, that is nav bar. Save it. Let's check the design again. Yeah, it is much better now, right? So also I need a button here to sign out, right? After the span, I'm going to say button class name. So it's a button btn. Let's give the color btn primary, and the button should be small, so btn sm, and margin end, let's say 3, and let's call it logout. Let's check the design. Yeah, much better. Then we need to give the sign out functionality. So here on click an arrow function, we need to call the sign out function. So sign out, which is from Firebase auth, and we need to share the auth. Let's say logout, right? It's gone, right? We are logged out. So now I'm going to create a login form. We need to create another component. So let's say login.js. So RFC. For the div, I'm going to say class name, border, and padding is 3. The color is kind of white, so BG light. Then the content should be in the center, so MX auto. So inside this div, I'm going to have a heading, let's say login. Then I'm going to have email and password. So I'm going to copy it from a register component. So let's go there. I need this, I need email, password, button, right? So I'm going to copy it. So come here, paste it here. So here we need the state to set email and password. So you can also copy it from register form. Just copy these lines. Okay, I'm going to paste it here. And also you need to import this use state. So import it, right? It's from React. Okay, everything fine, but we need to change this, right? So it is not register, it is login. And also change the function. So instead of handle sign up, let's say handle login. So now we need to create that function. You can copy that also, right? Just copy this function, right? We can rename it. I'm going to paste it, and the function name is here handle login, right? Handle login. We need to sign in, right? So it should be sign in with email and password, right? So here I'm going to change it. Let's say sign in with email and password, and you need to import that. It's again from Firebase auth, right? It automatically imported, and then you need to import auth, right? Auth. Then you don't need to update profile, just delete this line. Then you have to navigate, right? So you need to use navigate, right? You can copy this. Also you need to copy this line, let navigate. Okay, So you can use Alt here to select different lines, right? I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to move it under this function, right? If anything goes wrong, show it in notification. So toast error code, type is error, and you need to import that. Now go to app.js. We have route for register. We need another route for sign in component, right? So route path. So let's say /signin. Then the element login. Okay, so now let's go to this path sign in. Okay, the top side of the login form is hidden, so we need to give margin top. And also I think the width is too large, so I'm going to resize it. So go to login component. For the first div, I'm going to give style. So style, let's set the max width to 400. Also I'm going to give margin top 60. Max width, it should be capital W, right? So capital W. Save it. Okay, cool. And now let's log in with our username and password. So earlier I created an account, so Warren so at codewithwarren.com. Login. It takes us to the home page, and you can see the logged in user, and which is our display name, signed in as Warren so. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm going to modify this create article component, because only the sign in users can create the article. So what if it is locked out? So here you can still see this form, right? So I'm going to change it to something different. So if the user is not signed in, it should show a link to login form and also the link for registration, right? Okay, now let's do it. Let's go to add article component, right? First of all, I'm going to get the current user's data, right? So go to the top, const, it's a hook, user, which is from use auth state, right? It is from React Firebase hooks, and you need to pass the auth, which is from our config file. So you can see it is automatically imported here, right? Just save it. Now come back here. So after the div, if there is no user, we should return the empty tag. Then a link is from React rooterdom, right? To where? To our sign in form, right? So /sign in, right? Login to create article. Then if you don't have an account, let's say don't have an account, then again the link, I should go to our register page, right? Okay, otherwise let's move this code. Just cut this, right, and paste it inside here. Save it. Now let's check J. We are not currently logged in, so it says login to create article, right? I'm going to wrap this first line inside heading. So H2, just move the first code. Is that okay? Yeah, boom, that's great. It takes us to login form. Then go to sign up. Yeah, we can register. Let's log in again. So login. Right, that's cool. Go to add article component. So inside this add doc, we are adding title, description, and image URL, and created it. Now I'm going to add more fields like created by, because we can get the current user now. So created by, first we need to get the user, right? So you can get the user here. So user, the display name, then user's ID, user ID, we can get it from user and UID. Then likes, we are going to add like and comment features, right? So likes, empty array. Also I'm going to say it for comments, so comment also empty array. Okay, now let's try to create an article. Let's say, how are you doing? Publish. Yeah, our article is added successfully. And this is the only article I created, right? So I have to remove this delete button for other articles, right? Okay, now let's redesign this component, right? So go to articles component. Now we have some more fields created by user ID, likes, and comments, right? So after this line, I'm going to create a new div. So div, class name is row. Here I'm going to show the article owner's name created by. If the article had created by property, I'm going to return the name. So here span, let's say some class name, batch, background color, primary, then return created by. So we need to wrap it inside another div. So div, class name, call 6. Move this. Then I'm going to display the close button. So div, class name, which is called 6. Then deflex, flex row, reverse. Close the div. If we have user, and if the user ID is equal to the user ID, let's say user ID, if those are equal, we should display the delete button, right? So just copy this, just cut this, right? You don't need it anymore. Okay, it says user is not defined. Okay, let's check. Yeah, we don't have a user now, right? So we need to get that. So const user equal to use auth state, right? And we need to pass our auth, so auth, which is from our configuration file. Okay, so that's fine. Then title, let's change it to h3 and created that. Okay, let's make it h5. Okay, let's check the design. Okay, and now I'm going to show the like button here. Minimize. So after this, I'm going to create another div. Let's say like. You need to give class name, deflex, and flex row reverse. If we have users, user, we should return the like article component, right? So like, and we are going to pass the ID. ID is ID, also like, right? Article ART. Okay, now we need to create a component, new .jsx RFC. You need to import it first. So go to articles. So you need to import that, right? Okay. Now let's install Fondosum. So npm install Fondosum. Okay, now we are going to use that. So go to index.js. So we need to import Fondosum CSS. So import Fondosum /css /Fondosum CSS. Okay, cool. Now go to like component. So inside the div, so class name, I'm going to use template literal. So backtick Fondosum hot, right? And if it is not liked, it should be Fondosum hot -o. So let's do it. So $. So here we are getting the ID and likes. So ID and likes. So here likes, it includes current user ID. So includes current user ID. So we need to get the current user. So here let's say import use auth state, right? Then here const user, which is equal to use auth state. Then we need to pass our auth. So auth, which is from Firebase config. So here we are going to get the ID from this user. So user.uid dot uid, right? If the user ID is not included in the likes array, we should add -o, which is the foundation class, right? So it will be fa dash heart dash o, right? So -o. Otherwise it should be empty, right? So here another class, the icon should be large, so falg, then close it. Now I'm going to give styles. So style cursor cur, that is pointer. Then the color, we are going to add color. So if it is already liked, it should be red, right? So I'm going to say color, so likes, so it's include this ID. So I'm going to copy this, right? I paste it here. It should be red, otherwise it should be null. Let's check the design. Yeah, nice. Now I'm going to write the function for like button. So after this user const, I'm gonna call it likes reference equal to doc, which is from Firebase Firestore. Then I'm going to pass db, which is from Firebase config. Then the name is articles. Then I'm going to pass this ID. So now I'm going to write on click function, right? So here I'm going to say on click, I'm going to say handle like. Okay, now I'm going to create this function const. If you are already liked the post, when you click it again, it should be a dislike, right? You should remove the like. So if you can copy it from here, just copy this line, paste it here. We should update the docs. So update doc, which is from Firestore. Then we need to pass the like reference. So like reference, then likes. Here I'm going to say array remove, which is from Firestore. So I'm going to remove the current user ID from that array. So user.id, it gives a promise. Then I'm going to console log. Then I'm going to console log, right? If anything wrong, I'm going to catch that, right? Within then block. So I'm going to say console log unliked, right? Then I'm going to print the error, right? So we have written if. Then I'm going to write else, right? Else. Again, we are going to update doc. We need to pass the like ref. Then the object likes array union, which is from Firebase Firestore. Then I'm going to add user ID. So user.uid, right? It should be uid here in the 14th line, right? Not just user.id, user.uid. Okay, just I'm going to copy this line. So here I'm going to copy this line. Yeah, .10, right? Here I'm going to say liked. So now let's check. Bada beam, bada boom. It's working fine. Okay, now I'm going to change this delete button. So I'm going to use font awesome icon. So go to delete component, right? So go to delete here. I'm going to redesign this, right? So I'm going to change it to I. Then the class name is, I'm going to remove this. Class name is fa times. So I'm going to give a style, double curly braces, then cursor, which is pointer. I'm going to delete this. Yeah, you can self close this tag, right? Let's check the design. Yeah, very nice, right? So here I'm going to give a confirmation message. When you delete, it should ask for confirmation. So here I'm going to say in the handle delete function, if window dot confirm, right? Here we are going to give the confirmation message, right? So we need to close that. Let's close it here. Let's take the design now. Yeah. Now I'm going to create a page for the single view. What I'm going to do is whenever you click this image, it should take you to another page, right? So where you can find this article and its comments. So let's do it now and go to articles component, right? So I'm going to wrap the image with link component, right? Image component, then I'm going to wrap it with link component, right? So that's a link. Link is from React Router DOM to, I'm going to redirect to this URL. So here backtick /article. So here the next thing is ID, article ID, right? So $, then ID, right? Close the tag. The ending tag should be under the image. Now go to app.js. We need to create another root. So here root path, which is equal to /article and then the ID, right? ID element, let's say article, right? We need to create that. Let's say article. Now we need to create this article component, right? So let's create it. Let's call it article.jsx, right? So React functional component RFC, right? Here we are going to design that, right? Before that, I'm going to import our article component here. So just Ctrl plus space, right? It will suggest. So just press enter and we need to close the tag. Great. Okay, now go to article JSX. So now we are going to get the article from the URL, right? So you can check here. Whenever you click this image, it takes you to another page, right? Just click it. And here you can find the article ID. So we are going to get that ID. And from that ID, we are going to get the article and we are going to display it, right? First, we need to get the ID. I'm going to use params from React Router DOM, right? So const, you can get the ID from use param, right? So ID is equal to use param, right? So you need to import that, which is from React Router DOM, right? We got our ID. Then we are going to get all the data. So use effect, which is from React. It takes two parameters. First one is a callback function. Now we are going to get the document reference. So const, let's call it docref, which is equal to doc. It's from Firestore, right? It takes three parameters. First one is db. So db, which is from config file. So db. Then the second parameter is the name, articles, right? Then the third parameter is ID. So now I'm going to use a function called onSnapshot, right? So onSnapshot, which is again from Firebase Firestore. Then I'm going to pass docref, right? Docref. The second parameter is a callback function. It takes snapshot, so it takes snapshot, right? Snapshot. Let's call it snapshot. Then I'm going to set the article to the state, right? So here const, I'm going to call it article. Then set article, and the initial state is null. I need to import useState. Let's copy this. Yeah. So here I'm going to set the results, right? I'm going to set the article. So set article, we are going to get all the data. I'm going to spread that. So snapshot dot data, right? And also we need the ID. So ID is equal to snapshot dot ID, right? Now I'm going to display the article. So div, I'm going to give some class names. So class name, it's container, then border, background light, right? and I'm going to give some additional styles. So style margin top, which is 70. Then I'm going to delete this. If you have article, we should show something. So here I'm going to say div, the class name is row, close that. Then another div called 3. Then I'm going to display the image. So image source, so which is, we can find it inside article. So article dot image URL, right? So here alt, I'm going to pass the title. So article dot title, right? Then I'm going to give size to the image. So here let's say style, width is 100%. Then I'm going to give padding. So padding 10. Then another div, class names are col9, and we need to give margin top, so empty, let's give 3, right? Let's close this. Then here I'm going to display the title, so I'm going to use h2. And then I'm going to display author, so h5. Let's say article dot created by. So here I'm going to say author. After that another div, I'm going to give the date, so posted on article dot created at dot to date. Then I'm going to change it to string, right? To date string, right? Then I'm going to give a horizontal line, so HR. Then the description, I'm going to show it in h4, so h4 article dot description. Let's check the design. Yeah, it's fine, right? Then I'm going to display the like button somewhere here, right? So after the h4, another div, class name dflex, flex row reverse, right? Close that. So here if the user is logged in, we need to display the like button, right? So here we say, so user, we should pass the like button. So here like article, right? And we need to pass ID and the likes, and we need to get the user, currently logged in user, right? So we are going to get it. So const array user, we are going to use auth state, right? You need to import that. Also you need to import auth. That's cool. Let's have a look. Yeah, like buttons here, right? Then we are going to give the like counts. So another div, class name padding int, let's say 2, right? Close that. Here paragraph and the like count. So article dot likes dot length. So after this I'm going to show comment section, right? So now we need to create comment component. So new file, let's call it comment dot jsx, right? RFC React functional component. Here I'm going to have a container, so div class name equal to container. Close the tag. Okay, I'm going to get all the comments. So I'm going to use effect. So use effect, the first parameter is a function and the second parameter is an empty array. The use effect should work only once, that's why I'm passing this empty array, right? ID should be under comment. Also I think I made a mistake in article. Here I didn't pass the second parameter, so here it should be empty array, right? So here comment, I need to import that. Then inside the function const, we are going to get the reference, right? Doc ref, which is equal to doc which is from Firebase Firestore DB, then the article, then article ID. So I'm going to get the ID via props, right? So here I'm going to say ID, right? So here it's ID, right? Then I'm going to use on snapshot function. On snapshot, I need to pass a doc reference. Then the second parameter is a callback function. It takes snapshot, right? I'm going to set the comment to the state. So we need a use state. Const comments. It should be in the array. So comments, set comments. You need to import the use state. Here I'm going to set comments. Snapshot.data, and we need only comments, right? Okay. So here we are going to display that. So comments, if it is not null, we are going to display all the comments, right? And comments dot map a callback function. Let's call it comment. So here inside this I'm going to return the element. So div, let's give a key which is comment ID. Close it. Yeah, it should be comment.comment ID. By the way, we didn't create any comments yet, so currently we don't have comment properties. We will create it later. Now you can destructure this line. So I'm going to say I'm going to delete this comment. Within the curly braces, I'm going to get comment ID, right? So now you can delete this comment, right? Also our comment will have some other things. We will have user, right? Which is user ID, right? Then comment, then the user's name. Let's call it user name. Now in the array, you can see a warning. It says expects a return value from array. So you can simply remove these curly braces and this semicolon. Inside this div, another div, class name. So it will have border, then padding, let's say 2, margin top 2, and row. Close this. So inside this div, we are going to have another div. You can simply type dot, then you can give the class name. The class name is call11. Just press enter. It's very simple, right? So inside this, I'm going to have a span. Here I'm going to render the name of the users who commented. If the user is already logged in, the color should be green, otherwise it should be blue. Okay, let's do it. So span. And inside this I'm going to return the user's name. So here username. So it will have a class. So class name. So I'm going to use template literal. So backtick, the first class is batch, then $, curly braces. Within that, if the user is currently logged in, I'm going to return BG primary. If the user is not logged in, it should be BG success. So I'm going to say user, which is user ID. If it is equal to, now we need to get the currently logged in user. So I'm going to use all state. So here, let's say const, within the array, I'm going to say currently logged in user, right? Which is from use auth state, right? It is automatically imported. So here I'm going to say currently logged in user dot uid. If these IDs are equal, we should return BG success. BG success, right? Otherwise it should be BG primary. So after this span, I'm going to render the comment. So here comment. Then I'm going to have a delete button. After this div, I'm going to create another div. The class name is call1, right? So here I'm going to copy the same thing. So just copy this line within the curly braces, paste it. If the commented user is logged in, I'm going to display the delete button. I'm going to use the font awesome icon. So the class names are FA, then FA times, right? Then I'm going to use style. So style, double curly braces. I'm going to say cursor, it should be pointer. Then an onClick function. So onClick, let's call it handle delete comment. So arrow function handle delete comment. So here we need to pass our comment, right? Now let's create the function. So just copy this. So here delete comment const. So now I'm going to log the comment. So console.log, we are getting the comment. So here you need to pass comment, so you can directly console log. We will implement this later, right? Okay. So now we are going to add comment. Currently we don't have any comments. So come down. After this, if we have currently signed in user, we should return a comment box. So here I'm going to say currently signed in user. If we have currently signed in user, then here input, the class names are form control, then margin top, so MT4, then margin bottom, so NB5, press enter. Then we need to pass value, so value which is equal to comment. Now we need to create this comment. So go up here, I'm going to say const comment and set comment. Then I'm going to use useState, right? Save it. Then I'm going to have onChange function. So onChange, so I'm going to set the comment. So arrow function which takes events. So here I'm going to say set comment e.target.value. Then I'm going to say placeholder. Let's say add comment. Then on here up, whenever you enter, the comment should be posted, right? So I'm going to use on key up. I'm going to create new function. So here let's say it takes event and let's call it handle change comment. We are going to create it in a while. So here I'm going to pass the event, right? So const, the name was handle change comment. So handle, right? It takes events. So here e. So here I'm going to say if the enter key is pressed, so if E, the key is equal to enter, so here we should update the comment. So I'm going to say update doc, which is from, you can see, Firebase Firestore, right? And you need to create comment reference, const comment ref, which is equal to doc. Doc is from Firebase. Doc is from Firebase Firestore. Then we need to pass db, which is from our config file. Then articles. Then the ID. We are getting the ID via props, right? So here you need to pass comment ref. The second parameter is an object. So here we are going to have all the fields, right? So we have comment ID, user, comment, and username, right? So inside that comments. So here we are going to update it. So we are going to use array union. So array union, which is from Firebase Firestore. So here we will have user, right? The user is the currently logged in user's ID. So here I'm going to say currently logged in user, then UID, right? The next thing is user's name. So here I'm going to say username, which is equal to currently logged in user dot display name. Then comment. So the comment is here, this comment, right? Then I'm going to have this timestamps. So let's say created at, let's use the current time, so new date. Then we should have a unique ID for the comment. So comment ID, and here I'm going to use a library called UUID. So let's install that library. So here I'm going to say npm install UUID. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. So here I should close this bracket here, right? Not here. So I'm going to delete this. Right, now I'm going to import that library. So on the top, so here import from UUID. Here I'm going to say v4. I'm going to rename that so as UUID version 4. So here we need to invoke so UUID version 4. After that we are going to clear the comment box. So then arrow function set comment, which is empty string. I forgot to pass auth. So in the 10th line, I'm going to pass auth, which is from our configuration file, right? Okay, now we need to render this comment component in our article component. So go to article component. So here I am going to render that. So comment, yep. And you need to pass the ID. So ID, which is equal to article.id. Now let's check the design. Now go to this article. You can find our comment section, right? So now let's add a comment. Press enter. Yeah, we have added the comment, but something wrong with the style. Let's check. So go to comment. Let's check. Okay, here it should be border, say BOR, and here the col11, it should be single L. Yeah, that's fine, right? Now we need to create our delete functionality. The handle delete comment, I'm going to say update doc. First one is comment reference, right? And second one is the object. So here I'm going to remove the comment from array. So comments, I'm going to use array remove. So here it removes the comment from array. So here we need to pass our comment, right? We need to import that, which is from Firebase Firestore. So then we can log the success message. If anything goes wrong, catch the error. So here console log, okay. Then here console log error, right? So it should be working. Let's check. Yeah, this is our function. We need to pass all the props. Here only I passed comment, right? So I'm going to pass all the props. So what else we need? We have comment ID. We have created it. No, we don't have created it. So we need to import created it. What else? Okay, we have everything. So now I'm going to copy this, paste it here. Now let's have a look. Let's delete. Yeah, it's working fine. Now you need to show the like and comment counts here, right? Now go to articles component. After this, I'm going to create a div. So class name is PE2, padding in 2. So 2, here paragraph. Here I'm going to show the like counts. Likes, if we have likes, we should get the length, right? Say likes. Then after the div, if we have comments, we should show the comment count. So comments and sign and comments. If the length is more than 0, we are going to render a div. So class name is PE2. Then here paragraph, comments. If we have comments, we should show the length. So length. Here I'm going to say comments. Let's check the design. Yeah, here you can see the likes and comments count. So that's it guys, thank you for watching. If you want me to do part 3, please comment below. If you like this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys, see you in the next tutorial.